Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to give you my MLB postseason picks in hopefully 10 minutes or less. See, we already hit the mic. We're already off to a wild course, but we're going to try doing one take too. So let's see how this happens. So let's start up left-hand corner. You see the image on the screen. We got Tigers versus Astros. While Schoolbowl is your AL Cy Young winner this year, for sure. I mean, you won the Triple Crown. You got Valdez going game one. I just think the Astros, they're just a deeper team, more complete team. So while Schoolbowl might take game one, Astros are going to take 2 and 3. So Astros are going to move on to the next round. Royals versus the Orioles. Well, I think this could be a really good series. Burns is going to take game one. I'm assuming that he's just been so studly this year. I think the O's bats have finally woken up. This last few days of the regular season, I feel like they might have figured something out. So I'm going to go with the O's. I think it's only going to go 2 games, sadly, but either way, I think it'll be a fun series. Then if we cross over and we go to the Atlanta versus Padres, frankly, right now, I don't think the Braves really know what they're doing with their starting pitching. They were hoping on Sale being able to go game one, and then he got back spasms, so he might not even be eligible for the wild card round. Padres have been playing really well. And if Braves are going to have all their starters going on short rest, and I mean, they had to use their bullpen yesterday in the doubleheader as well. So they're kind of already going in a little limited, a little bit weak, maybe even a little bit hungover. The Padres easy for me on that one. Brewers versus Mets. I see a lot of people that are kind of hopping on the Mets bandwagon. I know they got the big names, Lindor, Alonso. But I mean, they have good pitching, but they don't have like elite pitching to me, and I think people are really sleeping on the Brewer crew. So I'm going with the Brewers in this. It could go 3 games, but honestly, I think in game 1 we see Severino versus Peralta. Don't be surprised if the Brewers run wild on Alvarez behind the plate. So we're gonna go Brewers advancing. If we stay right there in that same corner, we got Brewers versus Phillies. I think the Phillies are probably the most complete team in the MLB right now. You got to kind of assume that Zach Wheeler's going to win every game that he gets to start. So they only have to win 3 in the second round. Wheeler's going to get 1. I feel like their bullpen's pretty good, even though maybe there's some question marks at the end. I'm going to go with the Phillies there. Then if we bounce down to the bottom, Dodgers versus Padres. I've been saying it for weeks now, if you've been in my chat, that Dodgers kind of have question marks on who is starting which game and who's going to be healthy and all that sort of things. I don't really have that much faith in Flaherty. I think he could be very hit or miss. I don't know what his career numbers are in the playoffs, but I know for the Cardinals, I think he had 1 good start and 1 crappy start. You might see Yamamoto, but I mean, if you don't have Ohtani or Freddie or Betts killing you, you can kind of beat this team. All right, so if we continue on, I'm basically saying I believe the Padres are going to upset the Dodgers. I think they have a good starting rotation, but I think their bullpen is also phenomenal. I also have a lot of faith in Mike Schilt. I think he knows how to utilize his players well. And Padres have a pretty deep lineup as well. I actually think their lineup is probably a little bit deeper than the Dodgers when everyone is all said and healthy. But I think that'll be a great series, but I'm picking the Padres. So we hop back over. We had the Orioles winning, so they're facing the Yankees. Yankees are gonna be able to line up their rotation. I think Garrett Cole's back. I think he'll have a strong start. Again, they only have to win 3 games. So if you got, I mean, I think they even moved Stroman to the bullpen. And question mark for the Yankees is really their closing, like the back end of their bullpen. That's the biggest concern for them right now. Like most teams in the playoffs right now, they all seem to have some type of question mark, whether it's rotation, bullpen, or maybe even like a little bit of health. But I still think the Yankees pull it out and they beat the O's. They're kind of their big brothers right now. So if we move up, we got Astros versus Guardians. Guardians do not really have that team that they traditionally have where they rely on really strong starting pitching. It's kind of been the flip. They have good to average starting pitching, but their bullpen is phenomenal. So, I mean, if they somehow turn this into a bullpen game, I think eventually their arms are going to get overexposed. It's only a 5-game set, but like if they do go 5 games, they're either going to get exhausted or they're going to get overexposed. I just think the Astros are a lot deeper than the Guardians, and they have a way better offense. So I'm going with the Astros there. If we stay in the AL, then that means we have the Yankees versus the Astros again, which that might irk some people, but I always like good teams continue their success. So again, I kind of mentioned previously the Yankees and their bullpen issues. Astros don't really have that issue. They got Hader, they got Presley. They even picked up Neris. And the fact that they actually have some back end arms like Blanco and Arrighetti Spaghetti that they can utilize. I also was talking to an Astros fan that if Verlander has not been pitching well as a starter, wouldn't it be pretty filthy if they utilized him and kind of like that one time through the lineup? Not necessarily an opener, but like somewhere in like the 6th or 7th inning, get you out of a jam situation. I think the Astros have a ton of arms. There's a lot that they could do with them, and I think that's probably why they advanced past the Yankees. You know, if they can just not let Judge or Soto beat them, I think the Yankees are very, very easy to beat if you have the talent and the depth in your pitching. Plus, I feel like the one thing that always gets exposed in the playoffs is teams' willingness to put the ball in play versus striking out, and the Yankees are a team that are going to strike out, where the Astros are going to put the ball in play. We swing back over to the NL, so that means we got Padres versus Phillies. I think that's going to be a phenomenal series, probably go 7. When I look at it, though, I'm thinking Wheeler gets at least 2 wins, maybe he even gets like the game 7 in that set. Because now that we're in the conference series, we're getting 7 games. Phillies, I just think a little bit deeper, a little bit more elite starting pitching, which does tend to matter because it can kind of save the bullpen here and there. I don't want to say the Phillies live and die by the home run, but again, I just think they have a deeper lineup that has more, like, I don't know, streakiness. Like, I think these teams are pretty evenly matched. Padres would have the bullpen advantage. Phillies would have the starting rotation. I just think Phillies have kind of been there a little bit more. Coach has been there. He's more familiar with his club. So I'm just at 7 games. I'm going to give the nod to Phillies with Wheeler possibly getting 3 of the wins. So that means only Ranger needs to get 1 or Nola needs to get 1. So I'm going with the Phillies. So that leaves us with the Phillies versus Astros in the World Series. Now, I think this was actually my preseason pick, so I'm kind of sticking with it. I thought the Astros would go deep. I thought the Phillies would go deep as well. I'm going with the Astros, and the title remains in that AL West. Again, I just think the Astros, they have so many arms that they can utilize, whether it's starting, middle of the game, back end. You know, even if you want to use Hader for multiple innings or Presley for multiple innings, you have kind of backup if you just kind of flip them game to game. I just think they have the resources. They have the tools for that. If Alvarez can come back and be healthy, I think that's the one guy that you can't let beat you because he always seems to have a clutch home run or 2, and you can't let him get going. But Tucker's back healthy. Bregman's having a good year. Altuve's healthy. They have a good squad. They have a good deep lineup. I know, like, first baseman situation's not ideal. They kind of mix and match with some of their outfielders. But in the end, I think the Astros know their team very well. I mean, Phillies know their team really well as well. But I think this goes 6 games. Astros take it. So if I got this done in 10 minutes or less, make sure you give me a like. I think I got it done. But that's my picks. I'm going with the Astros in 6 over the Phillies.